Fantastic. So just first of all, tell me what you've been doing here today, basically.
Well, I'm here in Weston-super-Mare at the college because they do amazing things for apprentices. The quality of the work that the apprentices produce, the standards that they aspire to are very, very high, and the difference they make to local businesses is hugely important. So I've come to see what is arguably the best in the west of England, probably amongst the very best in England, maybe even the best, because we need to do more of this, and more young people in particular, although people of other ages too, need to benefit from the great training they get. It makes a huge difference to our businesses, makes a big, big difference to the futures of those people involved.
You've been looking at job issues all week. We, by chance, have been looking at issues around recruitment all week. I just wonder what, through your role, have you heard about recruitment issues that are arising now that we're starting to come out of the pandemic?
Yeah, there are challenges. One of the things has obviously been hospitality, which has been so hard hit, and tourism as well. And what we're finding is that quite a lot of people who have been displaced from work because of the pandemic are moving into care work, which has always been traditionally a place that's been hard to find staff. So we've had a shift, and we now need to kind of work out how we meet those needs in the future. Recruitment is going to be really important. There will be great opportunities in the future, but we need people who are able to take full advantage of those and are prepared to really make the most of them.
Some business groups in the West and across the country are calling for sort of short-term visas to be introduced to try and tackle this recruitment issue that's arising. I just wonder what your thoughts would be on that.
Yeah, I think we just got to be open-minded about whatever it is that meets our needs, and I'm not against that in principle. I think we've got to look at whatever it is that gets us back on course as an economy again as soon as possible, because it's so important. I just think that what really matters though is that places like Weston, that produces great apprentices, make sure that not only do we deal with the current challenges of recruitment, but the future challenges, because we've got great opportunities ahead of us in this region. I'm very excited about that, but what I also know in looking at that and understanding that more is that we've got huge challenges in making sure we've got the people with the skills and training, not just in the single generation, but in generations beyond, because the challenges are great, the opportunities are vast, and I think it's a very exciting time, but I want us all to have everybody skilled up and ready to take advantage of that.
Two more for you. Firstly, we've seen evidence that in some sectors, hospitality for example, because jobs and employers are struggling so much to get people in, they're offering essentially inflated wages to try and fill roles, but then there's a worry that that could lead to problems down the line because they're not sustainable. I just wonder what you've heard about that and what your thoughts are on that.
It's certainly been picked up by me this week and before. In fact, I've been visiting an awful lot of businesses, and they are saying that in the hospitality sector that getting staff means they're having to pay more. I think that's just the challenge of our time. It's happening all around the world. It's not unique to the UK. We have to get through this. It is tough. I'm obviously listening really carefully, and I'm open to good ideas and doing anything I can to make sure that we get people into work and keep them in there, and those businesses can keep thriving. But it is important at the moment we do all we can to get out of this pandemic as soon as we possibly are able. It just seems to me that this is a really key time. If we get it wrong, it'll be much harder later on. So it's much better that we do the things we're doing and focus really hard on getting back on course quickly, and then we can deal with the consequences a bit later, because we know we've saved lots of businesses, they haven't gone under.
And just lastly, what is your message to those employers that are struggling at the moment to get people in, or just struggling in general?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say I know it's tough. I'm not talking from a lack of knowledge. I'm speaking to many of you, and you're telling me how tough it is. I'm listening as hard as I can. I'm working as hard as I can to make sure that government also know exactly what they're feeling and the challenges they've got. And I'm hoping that by working together with government, the combined authority in the west of England can do every possible thing they can to keep businesses in business and then thriving in the future.